Hey, what's up, Scorpio? Welcome to another general tarot reading. I'm doing something a little different on this cycle of reads. I am trying to be a little bit more concise with my reading. That way I can retain your patience a little better. The analytics show a lot of people checking out the videos, but the retention rates aren't the greatest. So I'm working on that by trying to be a little bit more direct with my reads, a little quicker. So without further ado, allow me to find the core energy for your reading today. And that was pretty quick, actually. Actually, we've got the Fool reversed. Shucks. Shucks, shucks, shucks. That can be an energy, definitely an energy of lacking in enthusiasm and anticipation. An energy of missing out on sort of the zest for a path forward and the energy to take a path forward. So that's disappointing to see for you as core energy, I have to admit it. Three of Swords. So whatever this lack of enthusiasm is, it has to do with how you feel about it. It has to do with your sort of emotional heart not being on board with the process. A lot of times that has to do with your intuition and your higher power and what's resonating with that. However, in this particular instance, what is being suggested here is a sort of mind over heart scenario. This card very typically gets sort of called the heartbreak card, but I've had a different personal resonance with this card, and in fact what is going on here is these three swords are symbolizing your mind, and they're symbolizing your mind controlling how your heart feels. They are symbolizing stabilizing your heart, your spiritual heart, and your feelings, sort of with your mentalism. It's about not letting your heart feel however it wants to. It's about controlling your emotions to a certain extent. So, off the bat, that strikes me as a sign of definitely trying to recalibrate why you are lacking enthusiasm about whatever this journey forward is for you. I'm not sure what that is exactly, so let's keep clarifying here. Let me see if I can expand the Fool in reverse to the other direction. Can I get a clear clarifier for the Fool the other way, please? Nothing really clear coming out. A little bit stuck, I suppose you might be, because the cards are stuck here. They don't want to come out either. They don't want to reveal something. So how about clarifying the Fool in reverse? Just clarifying it. Anything? Okay, so this one's to clarify the Fool in reverse, and that is the Wheel of Fortune. So, taking up your fate differently. Seeing the fate ahead for you. Not just being disappointed in your fate ahead. Accepting your fate and allowing fate to serve you by you moving forward. Except I screwed up my shuffle there. By you moving forward when the time is right. When fate presents you the opportunity to move forward. Definitely a sign, once again, it's another sign of dislodging yourself from this Fool energy in reverse, which is a stagnant energy, which is why I'm trying to extend the Fool the other way, please. Can I get a clarifier for the Fool reverse? Can I please extend the Fool reverse, please? So this is showing itself here. Page of Swords reverse. Another sign of being sort of, I guess it's a little strange because we have the Three of Swords, which is asking you to use your mentalism to stabilize your heart and how you feel. The problem is that you're in this energy of the Page of Swords reversed. That is part of what is contributing to your mood in that regard, because in the reverse, the Page of Swords, it's a little conniving. It's a little gossipy. It's a little toxic in that regard. So, sort of what I'm seeing here is like, you're just not on board with whatever this path forward is. And you're very toxic about it to a certain extent. Even just within yourself, you're very disappointed and annoyed by this for whatever reason. So, let's continue this. Can I please expand the Three of Swords, okay? Three of Swords expanded by the King of Swords. even more toxic potentially than the Page of Swords here. Like, geez. With this kind of energy going on, you're going to have a lot of trouble stabilizing your heart space, because the King of Swords will be very flagrant in the type of mentalism they're using to deal with this. So it's like, it's the last energy you need to actually accomplish overcoming this heart space problem that you're having. So can we clarify the Three of Swords? Any clarity for the Three of Swords, please? The Ten of Wands in the reverse, wow. Yeah, if you don't stabilize your heart properly, you are going to be stuck feeling extremely overburdened. So that's a sign that you are definitely stuck in, even to a certain extent, a little bit of fear here. So whatever the situation is that it's now kind of appearing to me that you're afraid to do this, whatever this is. You're afraid to take up this call to fate, and due to lacking in stabilization of your heart space, you're going to be stuck still. You're going to be very stuck, and you're going to be very negative about being stuck, and you're going to feel very overburdened being stuck. And whatever the Fool is trying to get you to move on from, you're going to be stuck there. Is the bottom line. You're going to be very overburdened by the situation. So can we expand the Page of Swords in reverse? It's 2 cards. I'd like to get 1 card, please. This is on the very bottom, so I'm not taking that one. This one's trying to come out here, so we've got the Strength card in reverse. Geez. Leo energy in a Scorpio reading. Not good. It's not a good sign of your inner quality. And that inner quality is part of what's causing this toxicity within you. This sort of verbal internal toxicity. This smidgen of connivingness, self-deprecious self-talk internally. It's a continuation of the fear that is holding you back in this Fool energy in reverse. It's speaking more to fear now, not just annoyance or anything like that. Like, you're definitely afraid to take up this fate of yours. Even though there's a sign here that you can stabilize your heart space to do that, you have to conquer your fear, sort of, is what it's suggesting. But if you don't conquer your fear, you're going to be very stuck, and you're just going to evolve your own self-toxicity. Very disappointing. Can we clarify the Page of Swords? Reverse. Clear clarifier for the Page of Swords reversed. See, I'm very sorry, Scorpio, about this. This is like... The last read was very good, and now this one's like this, so I'm very disappointed in that, so I apologize. But that's what's beautiful about this, is I just read the message. I don't decide what it is. Ten of Swords reversed. It's another sign of getting over... Oh, we've also got 10-10 here. So I read this 2 ways. The Ten of Swords reversed can mean... I traditionally read this as getting over a travesty, basically. Getting over ruin. It is just a sign that your internal world is going to remain in ruin by treating yourself like this on the inside. And that the natural momentum of that eventually is going to be defeat in this situation. If you can't get on board with what fate needs you to do here, the sign is that you are going to eventually build up too much momentum for it to not bleed over into some aspect of your life, and it's going to have consequences. Not pleasant, they're going to be relatively unpleasant. So definitely a sign of this behavior it's not just gonna blow over, so to speak. There's gonna be consequences to not moving on from whatever this is. So it's very disappointing to see this. Geez, some of the readings today have been heavy. A lot of the readings this cycle have been heavy. A couple of them, like the last one, was really good, but this one's heavy too, so tricky. Excuse me, hold on. It's getting close to my going to bedtime here. So excuse me for yawning on this one. I think I can get through Scorpio and Sag readings today, though. And that will be pretty good. Oh yeah, that means I'll have done like all 12 readings in about 2 days, so that's pretty good. Okay, enough rambling. Can I clarify, can we expand the King of Swords reverse, please? The other thing I've noticed here now that I just said that is that no fire, or no water energy for Scorpio. Wind and fire. Leo and some major arcana. Oh, there is wind energy. Oh, you're water though. The Fool's air, but it's not water. So, what is this, water? Ace of Swords, very interesting. Okay, so we expanded the King of Swords with the Ace of Swords. So the King of Swords wraps back to the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords, once again, that is about stabilizing your mentalism. That is about taking initiative within your own mind. So I'm seeing something here where you are like, your mind is your biggest enemy here. Your mentalism is your biggest travesty. And both in the Page of Swords and in this evolution to the King of Swords, those are not the energies you need to be in. You want to be in the Ace of Swords energy, which is taking a brand new approach to how you are mentalizing. And it's definitely necessary if you are stuck in King of Swords reverse energy. That's very toxic. Very cold, very cut. It can be very cruel. And in this instance, all that cruelty seems to be upon yourself because of this internal energy. The internal energy of the Three of Swords and the internal energy of the Strength reverse card. So, a good sign. It's a good sign of what to do. You've got to stabilize your mentalism to a more optimistic state. You've got to take the initiative to retain a more optimistic quality with yourself, with how you talk to yourself and how you treat yourself on the inside. And that's also a first step in stabilizing your heart space and sort of conquering the fear that's in your heart that I'm seeing here, which is important which is important for taking the first steps into this enthusiasm of the full energy that the fate seems to need you to take. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in these burdens, these very burdensome and ruinous energies, which is very disappointing. It's not what I want to see here. Can we clarify the King of Swords, please? Okay, so pretty clear. King of Swords reverse clarified by the Eight of Wands. So I got this earlier in a read where there was some court energy clarified by the Eight of Wands. That's about a message. It can be about a message delivered. It can be about haste. Following up this Ten of Wands reverse energy, though, it's like, it's almost as if you're so quick to hate yourself inside, or you're so quick to diminish yourself on the inside. You are so quick to, it's almost like after this Page of Swords thing has happened, you like normalize that upon your evolution to the King of Swords, and you are so quick and so easy to do this negative mentalism about yourself, inside of yourself, and you're so quick to allow the fears from your mentalism to rise up. It's like you don't want to see these cards being greased by the Eight of Swords. You don't want to be greasing your burden, being stuck in your burdens and being self-deprecious, so not cool. You don't want to be like, you don't want that energy to be so habitual and so easy. So that's very disappointing. So let me see if I can clarify the Ace of Swords, then. Maybe that's something better for you. Can I please clarify the Ace of Swords? Okay, good message to turn it. So can I please clarify the Ace of Swords, please? Any clarifier for the Ace of Swords? Magician trying to pop out. That's good. That's a good sign of manifestation for this Ace of Swords. But no clarifier yet, so let's move on. Let's see, let's see what the timer is at. 15 minutes, not bad. You've got most of the readout here. 4 cards left, it's pretty good. So, can I please expand the Strength card in reverse? Strength in reverse expanded, please. So that's not clear enough. Can I please get a clear expansion for the Strength card in reverse? Okay, so here we go. The Empress in reverse. Wow. Once again, it's another sign of being blocked, being fatigued, you're not, it's not just that this is happening to you, you're very fatigued by it. You might even realize that the energy is feeling like this. It is a sign of being fatigued, being overdone to a certain extent, like having given too much grace and needing to take a step back and recover. It is also a sign too that, like, your internal heart space, your natural femininity is burnt out, which is matching with, after the Strength card in reverse, which is also about your internal heart being burnt out. And part of why your mentalism is needed to rectify that situation. So definitely misfiring on your femininity is part of what this is suggesting. And that is leading to your, it's part of what's leading to your internal world being so busted up here. So I'm very disappointed to see that for sure. That's, yeah, a sign of fatigue. A sign of fatigue on how you're treating yourself on the inside. So you're even burnt out on acting like this stuff to yourself, treating yourself like this. So more graciousness is called for. More, like, sort of motherly capacity. What's the term? Maternal, more maternal instinct. The ways that, you know, natural love can be given to others maternally. It's something you've got to find for yourself. It's something you seem to be lacking for yourself, is your maternal self-quality. So let's clarify the Strength card in reverse, please. Strength in reverse. Okay, so nothing coming out for Strength in reverse. Ah, we got 2, so that's not good. How about the Empress in reverse? Clarify the Empress in reverse, please. Okay, so that drew 2 on accident. So Empress in reverse. Okay, so this is also blocked. So definitely a sign that you're blocked a little bit. This energy is blocked. It's something that might not feel natural to you. It's something that might not be so easy to actually apply, even though I'm just saying to do it. You might be very aware that this needs to happen, but it might be easier said than done, sort of thing. So that's very disappointing. Okay, so let me try and clarify the Ace of Swords again. Okay, please get a clarifier for the Ace of Swords. Singular clarifier, single clear sign for the Ace of Swords clarification, please. Okay, so Ace of Swords clarification is the Sun card, precisely. You need to find your internal optimism. So if something very interesting here is I'm seeing the Sun in Strength. That's Leo. That's double Leo energy. And this is a Scorpio reading, but I haven't seen a single water energy this whole time. The closest thing to water energy is the Empress, representing Queen of Cups. Otherwise, like, tons of air and fire energy, a ton of it. And those reinforce each other. So, like, anytime you're lacking in your fiery capacity in this instance, for instance, this Page of Swords is like, it fans the flames, so to speak. Same thing with these 2 cards. Your overburdened nature is fanned by being unable to sort of quell this heart issue you're having, this spiritual heart issue that you're having. What you've got, though, here is, once again, as I've suggested, and this is validating my personal take on this 3 of Swords, because the sign here is that you've got to use your mentalism to overcome certain fears inside of you. And the Ace of Swords, clarified by the Sun, is a sign of stabilizing into optimistic mentalism. It is about finding the bright side of life. And sometimes that requires some mental effort, not just letting however you feel dictate your situation, dictate your quality of mentalism. It's about taking control of your own mentalism and doing it very brightly, finding what is good about you, focusing on what's good about you. Even if it's not much, it's what you've got to focus on. So even if you don't believe you're good, you have to see it anyway. And it doesn't have to be fake. It might help. Some people can be helped by making it fake, but it's never been my personal strategy. I want it to be real. I want the good things about me to be real. But this is very clear. The Sun is about the quality of your mentalism and the brightness of that mentalism. And with the Ace of Swords, you're being asked to stabilize your mentalism into optimistic quality, which is a huge sign of finding love for yourself, which is what's being signified by the Empress reverse and the Strength card reverse. That's failing to love yourself. That's failing to find your internal strength. And it's creating fear inside of you. And that fear is causing you to not take the opportunities that fate is trying to grant you. And unfortunately, that leads you to being in a very bad negative 10 energies, which is unfortunate. Overburdened, but not embracing the burden properly. You're like, the burden gets you down even harder. And then whatever this is, like, there's going to be some kind of consequences, which is disappointing because you're trapped outside of your ability to cherish yourself properly. But if that creates a callousness in you and a toxicity in you, that can reveal itself in ways that you're not anticipating. Very disappointing ways. So, very disappointing. Sometimes I can read this 10 of Swords reversed as a, let me see here, look at 21 minutes, not too bad. Sometimes I can read this 10 of Swords reversed as getting over that travesty. The problem is the travesty has to hit first, then you get over it. So either way, it's a sign. It's definitely a sign of your momentum playing out. Even if that momentum is negative and is going to have a negative effect on you, that's the utter reality, is that that's the momentum you built. So definitely a sign that you're building up this negative momentum, and it is going to take its toll on you to some degree, and that's very disappointing. So let me see here. Let me do a shuffle. You've got a great outlook here, though, with this Ace of Swords and the Sun on the end. That is very good. That is a very powerful message of what you can do here. Once again, very interesting how there's this double Leo energy. So maybe you got some Leo in your chart. Maybe you're a Leo crosswatcher or something, and it's bleeding over into your energy. But the other thing is just that it's just taking Leo out of it. It's just about your internal fortitude and your internal optimism needing to be rectified big time. So let's see here. Let's clarify the Strength in reverse, please. Okay, so clarifying Strength in reverse, we have the Knight of Cups in reverse. Wow. The first water energy I've seen yet. So, like, unfortunately, the Knight of Cups reverse, that is somebody who is very susceptible to being led around by their emotions. They can be influenced by their emotions, and when your heart is turned around like this, you can be influenced very poorly. People will take advantage of your weakness, and it's very disappointing for somebody like this. And it is your energy, and it's clarifying this Strength card, which is fiery in nature, which means that it even goes to diminish your inner strength that much further. So, like, if there is somebody who is manipulating you, you've got to throw them out of your existence. It doesn't have to be drastic, of course, but they cannot be who is influencing you. You've got to escape that influence, whatever that influence is, because they're going to keep you quelled in your weakness because it is convenient for them to get you to do things for them. And they're using your good nature here, because that's the only way that this Knight of Cups gets used like that, is they're of good nature. But when they're in the reverse, it just makes them... I'm missing the words, I'm sorry. But like I said, they're very susceptible to being led around by their emotions. They're being influenced and being manipulated by their emotions, by their dreamy nature. And unfortunately, with all this negative energy, that is a good sign that somebody, like a bad person, you would be ripe for the picking to be manipulated by somebody, unfortunately, is what this is suggesting. And that is very disappointing. And very it kind of makes me angry a little bit when people will do that to other people, but that's the nature of the world, I guess. So another reason why you need to freaking overcome this, because you might be getting used as a result of this. Can we clarify the Empress in reverse, please? Clarifier for the Empress in reverse. Can I please get a final clarifier for the Empress in reverse, please? So, Empress in reverse clarified by the Six of Pentacles in reverse. Definitely a lack of grace here. A lack of graciousness. It is a... I don't think it necessarily means thievery, but being blocked like this makes it very difficult for you to receive abundance from others. Your part of it is due to your Page of Swords reversed and your King of Swords reversed. So that makes you like kind of gossipy. There's a tendency for that to mean gossip. There's a tendency for that to be sharp, very sharp tongue, cut, cold, calculating, so to speak, but in a negative sense. It's not just that you're doing it for well-being. You're doing it to be like a gossip. You're doing it for toxic reasons. And that does not earn you points for receiving abundance in forms of graciousness. And the other thing is that you may be trapped out of your belief that you deserve abundance due to how much of this burnt out self-love I'm seeing here. And that could also break down your ability to receive help from other people. Especially if you're being manipulated in a way that is like causing other people to dismiss you for your true quality. That would also make it very difficult for them to give to you. So, geez, that's very disappointing. And that's part of what this Ten of Swords could be, is like losing out on something that used to give to you. So a good that you used to receive for being taken away from you to a certain extent because of this lack of love this lack of internal love that is bleeding out into your material experience. So I'm very sorry, Scorpio. The answer is clear. You've got to I don't want to say turn, I almost said turn away from your heart, but that's not what I mean. You've got to rectify this emotionality of yours. Your emotionality is not serving you right now. Whatever emotionality you are trapped in, it is very disappointing. It is very disappointing that you are lacking your internal love so much, and that you are lacking your ability to sort of provide maternal quality. And it's even possibly making you a target of manipulation for people who will prey upon the weakness that they're seeing in you. And that's very disappointing, because fate is trying to help you out here. Fate is trying to get you to overcome this fear in your heart. But to do that, you have got to make a shift in your optimism, your mental optimism. That is the core grace of this message for you, is that if you want to bust out of these burdens and ruinous notions, if you want to get back to being able to receive some grace, and if you want to get back to loving yourself properly and not being manipulated, and if you want to get back to having the courage to take fate up on its offers for you, you can't be acting in these sort of snitty, gossipy, negative, mental, derogatory fashions, even if it's only to yourself on the inside, because that's what's destroying your own love of yourself. It's like you're gossiping about yourself to yourself in negativity, and you're reinforcing your own internal negativity. And the way you deal with that is you've got to take a new step forward on stabilizing your mentalism into brightness and optimism. So, cliche things like counting your blessings, focusing on what's good in you. You've got to transmute your mentalism to optimism. And you've got to find the bright side of life in your situations. Which doesn't mean that you have to ignore the bad. Well, it kind of does. Because it's like a cliche law of attraction thing. You've got to empower your optimism, and you've got to embrace yourself differently. You've got to become indifferent to like the suffering to a certain extent. And you've got to, I'm missing how to exactly say it, but you've got to love yourself, and that's super cliche, so I'm trying to come up with a better way to say it, but you've got to find a more optimistic quality of mind, because your negative quality of mind is making it hard for you to stabilize your emotions, and your emotions are very runaway into negativity, and it is not serving you, and fate cannot come through for you properly, and you can't take up its bounties for you it's the things it provides to you. You can't take those initiatives because you're very likely not seeing them because you don't think you deserve them, almost because you're not embracing yourself properly. So that's all I've got for you, Scorpio. You've got to do this over here. You've got to, or you're going to get stuck in the rest of this, and that's not where you want to be. I can't imagine it's where you want to be. It's not the best feeling thing in the world at all. So I'm sorry if I couldn't quite get clear enough to the point on how to do that, because it's something that I still don't know how to do. It's easy for me to say, but I don't always manage to find my own optimism so easily. It's not so natural. It's like, I understand the mechanics, but applying them can be very difficult. So I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but it is what you've got to do here. And if you can do that, then you can definitely turn a lot of this energy around. So good luck, Scorpio. Take care, and I really hope that you can make this difference.